Okay, hello friends. So again, today we have Kanu Bhutani with us. Now he's like a permanent business analyst on our channel. He's a part of our core team. And friends, today's session is going to be very interesting because today's questions are from Deloitte. Some of our team members have given the interviews, but then Kanu is going to help us with all those answers in detail. So first of all, thanks Kanu, and welcome one more time on our channel, Kanu. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sunan. Thanks for inviting me.
Great, Kanu. So, Kanu, if you allow, shall we start?
Yes.
Okay. Friends, all these are very interesting situational kind of question. So please pay attention. And at the end of the video, if you like our efforts, please give big thumbs up in the form of like. And please do comment what kind of questions, if you have any kind of question which you want to ask us, please put in your comments. We will definitely going to take in our upcoming sessions, right? So with this thought, let's start today's Q&A session. Okay, so the very first question is, suppose at the end of the project, there is a case when your user, you know, they're not satisfied with the outcome of the particular project, right? Whatever you guys have designed, right? They're not happy with that. Their expectation is more in terms of that particular system creation. So how do you handle that kind of scenarios? Did you enhance the requirement or re-release the product, or what will be? And if you have faced some kind of scenario in the past, you can also share with us, Kanu.
Yes, Sunan. Yeah, I've faced this kind of situation. But normally, what we do is that when a new requirement comes in, we create the as is and to be and SDD documents that are normally created by a business analyst, and we send those documents to the user or the SME to get their sign off. So normally we get the sign off and then only we start with the development work. But in case if yes, certainly I have faced this recently only, that there's one requirement which they wanted to enhance it. So in that case, there are two things which I feel we have to do. One is that if the requirement is small, if the change that has come is small, then we can do the changes and give them. But if the change is a bigger change which can't happen in this sprint or say the project, so we tell them that we will be taking this in another sprint or that way. But there is another thing also in this, that sometimes what happens, they say that until unless this requirement is not fulfilled, we can't go live. So in that case, what we do, that we have to take the time from them and give them a another go live date, that we can tell them that we will require some time. Now, the another thing that comes here is that the project is going to end, and we all, the entire team is getting dispersed. They are giving the handover to a new team. So if that situation arrives when the project is ending and these changes are coming, so then we tell them that we have given the requirements to the new team, and you have to work along with them, and the new team has to take the responsibility of doing that change and giving them the complete project. So that also was one of the things that I faced now, and the same thing we are doing, that we have handed over to a new team and they are working on it. So that is the way I we will handle it.
Okay, thanks a lot, Kanu, for that detailed answer. Okay, so here comes the second one. Now, think about a situation when you hired as a BA and there is no documentation. There's no documentation available to you. So, what do you do in those kind of situation, Kanu?
Okay. Yeah, when I'm hired as a BA and I go into a project and I see there's no documentation at all, it is really scary. Certainly, like when I see there's no documentation and I have to start working from day one. So it will surely become very difficult. But what I will do, I will maybe I will speak to the team members and the team leads, and at least get some SharePoint, the SharePoint folder which we will be having. I will just go and see some documents which are also not completed, or they are unfinished documents. So I will just go and collect all those documents from here and there and bring it in one place. So that is the first thing I will do, bring all the documents, scattered documents, in one place. After that, I will do stage by stage. I will check all those documents, and I will try to see that that particular document is satisfying which requirement. So then I will be creating a requirement matrix, a requirement traceability matrix, in which I will put that, okay, this document is there for this requirement. So that will be the second stage. The third stage will be that I will be structuring the document and make it easy to search. Now, I will be making subfolders based on the use cases or based on the functionality. I'll be creating the subfolders and try to dump in whatever documents that I've collected. And then I will give the entire team to review that document, tell them to review it and give their inputs. You add something, you remove something, whatever is there. I will tell all the team members to review it once. And in review, I will also get some other documents from them, other things from them. So finally, I will maintain the documents which are relevant to those things. I will put a SharePoint link and I will send it to all the team members, the entire team, and then I will have something with me with which I can start, and then I can contact the client. The second after this, the step will be to contact the clients and get the another requirements or the documents which are missing. So this is the way I will be handling this situation, but of course it will be a tough one. But yeah.
Okay, thanks, Kanu, for that second question. Okay, so here comes the third one. How do you handle a requirement that is not feasible? So, for example, sometimes you might have seen that the client is giving you some requirement, but you know, as soon as you got those requirements, that it's not going to work out, right? So, in those kind of scenario, what are you going to do?
Yeah. See, if the requirement is not feasible, I see that it's not possible. So, uh, actually, there are two things which are here. Either I should stop the requirement which I've got, which I feel that it is not feasible, or I should exclude it from the project. So the project will, I should stop the project or I should exclude it. Why? Because if I don't do that, if I carry on with the requirement which is not feasible, two things will happen. Number one, that because that requirement is not feasible, after some time, when the user will ask me, then he will be a disappointed user because that requirement was left out and I did not tell him initially. So he will be disappointed. The second is that if that requirement I give it to the development guys, they will also feel that is not feasible, and why we have got this requirement which we really can't do the development. So both the parties will be not happy with this requirement. So either we should leave it out, or we should halt it for discussing it further to make that requirement feasible and then move ahead. Yes.
Okay, thanks, Kanu, for that. Okay. So you might have seen a situation when you have to work with the teams or team members over which you don't have any kind of authority, right? They are from different groups, different teams, and you have to extract a lot of information from them, or sometimes you need to involve them in the different discussions, right? But then their
Yes.
priorities are different. So how you can deal with that kind of situations?
Right. Yes, it certainly happens, and several times it has happened that we have to work. I have to work with the cross teams with to whom I don't have any authority or less authority. But those cross teams are very important because we need to get the information from them. So I will tell you an instance wherein I had a cross team member with whom I had to work. And then what happened that whenever I used to ask him something, when I used to tell him to give me the email, and I used to send him the mail, but there's no mail reply from him. And that happened. And then the next day I used to go and ask him, and he used to tell me, wait, I will approach you. And finally he used to give me after 2 days. So that kept happening, and I thought, what is to be done? So after every Monday we used to have a team meeting. So what I decided that I will just go and encourage him in the meeting and give a positive feedback for him. And I did the same thing. I gave a very good feedback for him that he's really helping me out, and he has done this work for me. And after that, his entire thing was changed for me, and he was very happy with the encouraging words that I spoke for him. And slowly, then we started building the bond with each other, and we worked a lot together, and finally could complete the work which I would have not been done alone. So that was a good experience for me with him.
Thanks, Kanu, for that. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, this next one is a little tricky. So let's assume that, or maybe, it might happen with you that you have to deal with someone who don't like you for whatever reason. When I say don't like you, maybe professionally, they don't like you, or maybe the personally for some, they have some grudges against you or something like that. So how you deal with the situation when the other person is not in sync with you? That's the question. How you work with those kind of difficult people?
Yes, right. I have faced this in my very early stages of my career when I joined a new software company, and I was very inexperienced. So I would hardly understand what my seniors are talking and telling. And I used to keep reading the books and keep reading the coding and do the coding, but it took a lot of time for me to grasp. Whereas other people were very good at working. So my seniors were like not very happy with me, and they kept avoiding me for this reason that I'm unable to pick up. But this also really helped me. One thing in that was that our manager once decided that he will give one topic to each of the juniors to give a session on that in the class with everyone sitting in that room. So that was the thing when I took up one lecture on try catch and finally exception in Java, and that really hit the bullseye. And I delivered a fantastic lecture, and after that, everyone were like, okay, we have to give work to Kanu because he knows the things now. So that is the way I solved this issue.
Okay, a follow-up question on this. So, for example, let's assume that you have submitted some of your work, and
Mhm.
while your senior or your manager or your technical lead is reviewing that work, they come up with a lot of different issues with that, right? That particular work is not to their expectation, right?
Mhm.
So, what you're going to do, or what action you will take in that kind of scenarios?
Okay, in that case, I will, the approach that I will take is that I will be first seeing and reviewing my work, what I have done, and understand what are their inputs in that. And then we'll have set up a call with them directly with the person who has communicated that this is the problem he's having, and then discuss with him personally and get the inputs from him, and try to update the document accordingly, and then get up to his expectations, whatever he needed, but also give my inputs that because maybe I did not understand the requirements earlier, that's the reason I created such a document. So that way I would solve it, because that is where I feel that by giving them what they want is the way to solve this issue.
Okay, thanks, Kanu. Okay,
Okay.
so next one is with respect to the domain. So as a BA, you might have worked with different domains, for example, BFSI and maybe different loan management system and this and that. So now
Yes.
let's assume that you will introduce to entirely a new domain and you're not familiar with that kind of domain, but then you have to start working on it, right? So in that
Mhm.
kind of scenarios where you don't have much time to learn what you are going to do.
Okay, yes, it normally happens that we have to keep changing the domain, because every time we don't get the work in same domain, which also I've seen. So the main thing which I will be doing, that if I'm not familiar with that domain, I will be referring to the domain documentation which is available in the project. Then I will be also speaking to the seniors, senior business analysts, or the product owners, to understand and be aware of what that domain is. And then also I will look into the documentations which are available on the net, or even nowadays going to YouTube and watching some videos also give a good understanding of that domain knowledge. And then the third thing is that I will start working into that, so that I can get good insights for that domain, which will surely help me to understand and get familiar with that domain. When I will do the work personally, I create the PPTs, I create the flow charts, I understand the know-how of the processes, and that will give a good hold on that domain for me.
That's great, Kanu. Thanks for that. Our part one for this particular series. We definitely come out with the part two for Deloitte business analyst interview questions and answer very soon. So thanks, Kanu, for helping us and giving all those answers. Thank you, Kanu.
Thank you, Sunand. It was a very nice and good, insightful experience on this. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Bye. Have a nice day.